ESPN issued the following statement about the event's cancellation. Quote, ESPN has been in constant contact with the UFC regarding UFC 249. Nobody wants to see sports return more than we do, but we didn't feel this was the right time for a variety of reasons. ESPN expressed its concerns to the UFC, and they understood. For more, let's bring in Brett Okamoto, fresh off that conversation with Dana yesterday. Brett, Dana seemed adamant all along, including on our show this week, that he was going to put this on next week. What changed?
I mean, you heard it there in his statements that he told me. Nothing changed as far as he was concerned. I mean, he and his staff, the executives, they were working around the clock. I mean, he said that he was really putting his staff through the ringer, trying to keep this event together, and he had it. He had a partner in a venue in California. The fighters were on board. I mean, I talked to fighters yesterday before I spoke to Dana White, who said that they had received their flight information, that they knew where they were flying, that they knew where they were going to be transported to. So all systems were go for Dana White. But, you know, he is the leader of this universe. He is the most important man in mixed martial arts. But this issue has now expanded beyond his control, you know, and you heard it from him. That ESPN, some of the government officials in California expressed a lot of concern about, hey, we're telling the state to shut down. I know this is on an Indian reservation, but we really, really strongly urge you to not go through with this. And again, if it were up to Dana, I still think he would, but the decision was taken out of his hands.
So in that conversation, he certainly, and anyone could hear it, he seems very eager to put fights back on as soon as possible, to be the first ones back. When should we expect to see UFC back?
Man, it's difficult to predict anything in this climate, right? But I think the UFC's next pay-per-view is a month from now. It's May 9th. It's UFC 250. That's what it's called, at least right now. And yesterday as well, they were talking about fights on that card. They were talking to some of the athletes there. They were moving some things around. That card was supposed to take place in Brazil. Obviously, they got to remove a lot of the Brazilian fighters if they're going to have it in the States. So I think, you know, they're going to take a little break. Dana White told me after that interview, you're not going to see me for a little bit because I put a lot of work into this. Now I got to regroup a little bit. But I think when they reconvene and they start talking about things, you know, Las Vegas is shut down until April 30th. The White House has told us that the country is shut down and the social distancing measures are in place until April 30th. But if that remains the case and we see a little bit of improvement just in this general situation, like you said, Dana White wants to put on fights. And I would say that May 9th, that next pay-per-view it's optimistic, but it's feasible. It's what I would guess right now.
So for the first and foremost priority for everyone, including him, is the safety and health of everybody who is involved. What do you know about what he's doing to ensure the safety of the fighters and everybody else involved in the events?
You know, I wish I knew more, to be quite frank with you, Greeny. I mean, Dana White had been holding these details very close to his chest. But, you know, I did speak to, you know, like I said, some of the fighters that were going to be traveling to California to participate at UFC 249. They had their cornermen, and they said that they had been informed that they should expect that they were going to be specifically tested for COVID-19. And I think that's the big one, right? I mean, the UFC has always been the industry leader when it comes to, you know, medical precautions, making sure that these guys are taken care of. They have the PI here in Las Vegas. They've always been at the forefront of that. The big issue that everybody wanted to know is, will they be tested for this virus? I was told by the athletes that I spoke to that they were told yes, they would.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.